Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, guys. Hey, we have Kevin with us, Black Bear
Yay!
News.
How you
Thank
doing?
you. Good. Thank you for being here and
Yeah,
welcome.
of
Um,
course.
Hopefully, this will be a great. I know it's going to be a great conversation. It always is when you're here. But first, let's say hi to some of the people in the chat. So, of course, Franklin's in the house too. You can't see him, but he is here. Poppy Davis, good morning. Good morning. Chris Foster, we love you. Jacob Gordon, welcome, welcome. Let's see, Keith Hayes, Karen Daly, Jacob Gordon. Wait, Dar, is that Jacob Gordon? I know I'm missing people. There's more people here. Who am I missing? Kevin Sanholzer? I'm probably totally wrecking that name. But okay. Well, anyway, welcome, guys. And hopefully, you guys like this new format and this craziness that's going on right now. For those of you who don't know, do you want to bring people up to speed, Oz or Shonda?
Shanda.
I guess I'll do it. So, good
Okay.
morning, divers. Good morning, Kevin. Welcome.
Thank you.
So we are rebranding the Natural Progressive to Roar Media Live, which is going to have a focus on women led independent media and diversity. We had an amazing meeting with so many amazing people across the country last night. So many progressives are on board, and this is just going to be amazing. It's coming together organically. Chris, your support and helping us with this channel has been great. Hey, shout out to everybody that's over at the Roar Media Live. I know we got two Roar Medias kind of right now. We're moving. So things are in boxes and stuff is here and stuff is there, but we're going to get it together.
Yes, there's a lot of little bitty things that we got to take care of, but we will get it all together. So exciting to be a nonprofit and help
Yes.
independent media and help new people get started with new shows. So
Yeah,
So
what
excited.
excites me is that this is going to be a woman driven media group, which is just terrific. I am so glad because we need to elevate women's voices more so in the social media spectrum and cross supporting all of our populist, progressive, environmental, LGBTQI, all those communities, the diverse communities. So I'm particularly excited about that because I'm the bald old 61-year-old white guy, and I get to help make all this happen. So I'm representing that demographic, and I'm proud and honored to be involved with so many great people, especially people like Kevin and Chris. You guys are over at Rockfin, and you're just the message is fantastic. So thank you once again, just bringing everybody up to speed. Everybody over at Roar Media Live, we are also simulcasting on the Natural Progressive / Roar Media. So please, wherever you want to go, we're in both places, plus Rockfin, Twitch, and Facebook.
And
I want
Twitter.
to I want to say we gained 20 subscribers overnight
Yay.
after making this change. So that's pretty cool.
Very good.
We're
Nice.
close to 2,000. Yay.
Yay!
Yay.
Yeah, that's
And I
great.
haven't done a thing on the channel for like a few months. So that's incredible. Just incredible.
Absolutely. Kevin, can you tell us about the direction of Black Bear News? You've made a few changes. You're getting a little more political now, and you're splitting it up nicely. So, you want to talk about that a little bit and what you have for future plans, possibly?
Yes. Well, I think I've always been a bit political, but it's a strange kind of ecosystem on my channel that there are many people who are aware and concerned about climate change, and that seems to be their focus, their issue, their top issue, top of mind. Um, but personally feel like climate change is a political issue, and so it's important
It
to
is.
remain aware of not just the political climate change issues, but just politics in general, because I think the whole, you know, the sum of the whole is affects everything, right? So everything is connected. Everything is, um, not only are we connected to the planet and to the nature and to animals and other humans, we're also connected to the political system that kind of controls our lives and our reactions to that. So it's really important to be aware of what's happening politically. So yeah, just very quickly, like I was doing live streams that had a little political content, and then uploading just a climate change clip. I would make it private and upload a climate change clip afterwards. But I don't know. I just there were, for multiple reasons that are probably, it's too complicated to get into. I decided to just do, a climate change live stream and a political live stream, and all are welcome on either or. But just, I feel like some people who follow climate change are not necessarily concerned about politics, or they don't want to be concerned about politics, or they don't feel that it's important, or they don't really pay attention, and so they seem to be disturbed by the political content. And
I
so,
loved your rant yesterday. I really did.
Thank you. Thank you.
Very
Yeah,
good.
I'm not, I'm not saying that everybody has to agree with how I believe politically, but I just hoping that people have more open minds around that, because it's hard to get away from tying the two together, for me, in my mind. It's just, but some people just want to be concerned about climate change, so I'm going to oblige and let them have a climate change video where they can just we can talk about climate change specific things, which is fine.
There's plenty to talk about there, and the political sphere. I mean, that's affecting everybody right now. So I admire anyone that can keep their head in the sand and not even think about it, but I can't. So
yeah, I don't know. Admirable might be not a good word, but I don't know. I mean,
well, you know what I mean. I'm jealous of people that
yes,
just have the earmuffs on and going la 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 through it all.
What's happening? I don't know. I'm not paying attention.
Yeah, it's only our future. Whatever.
Right, our children's future.
I love also that you are skeptical of the election results, because there's very few of us in this sphere that actually are skeptical and should be skeptical, because Democrats have just stopped cheating for this presidential election, and I'm sure Republicans cheat. Well, we know they all do. So to be skeptical of it is, I think you should be, and we still need to push for election integrity, even if for the short time we have left on this planet. But
absolutely right. I mean, how are we gonna? I have little faith in the idea that we're gonna vote our way out of this mess. But it's a nice thought.
Yeah.
It's a
it's a wonderful thought.
It'd be nice if we could. It'd be a great way if we could actually do that. But that's not going to happen, because the powers that control the media, the powers that control our elections and how that they run, and the money involved in politics, right? So it's just you're not going to find your way around that wall.
Batman fan showed up.
I'm calling him Bat. The other night I did a typo in one of our shows and it said Bat, the Batman fan, so now I call him Bat.
Bat the Bat.
Batman fan.
Bat.
Awesome. Anyway, there's a couple of people that popped in. Mark Grosh as well.
No, again, this is great. We've had this aim of building an alliance, a coalition of populist media on all topics and demographics and things. So, Kevin, we try and shout out to all of our sisters and brothers across all these social media platforms, Rockfin,
Sure.
YouTube, all of them. And I think that's the way to go, without, threatening anybody's autonomy or wanting to make a schedule and all this crap. Because it's naturally coming together. We were concerned, but we're seeing this organically evolve together because we're coming together. The only thing that's been disconcerting is the progressives are kind of fighting amongst themselves over these issues that are not as big as climate change or things that are really affecting our problem, but they are a concern. So I'm just hoping that by organically building this actual unity of people on these issues is going to go forward, and that's what we really want to do. Shanda, you've been just busting it in chat over there. Do you want to you got a couple of questions?
Yeah. I want to give some shout outs. We got Jilly Love and Curious 1976, J9 Campbell. You guys found us over on the Roar Media Live. So we have Roar Media, which is the Natural Progressive channel, and then we have Roar Media Live.
Yep. And that's next week. We're going to get it all, like I said, we're going to get more organized as we go and grow with what's been happening behind the scenes. We are just ecstatic. We're bringing in some folks that are we just know you're going to love it. We can't say names right now, of course, because we got to wait for that. But we're really excited, and we hope you stay on too. Do you want to do a couple of deck things here real quick while we've got?
Yeah. Let's talk about some topics. I brought a green report from Miss Whitney
Alex.
What's Whitney's
Yeah.
last name?
Alex.
Whitney
Yeah.
Alex?
Whitney Alex.
Alex, that's right.
Yeah.
Whitney Alex. My brain's not awake yet this morning. Yeah, we miss Whitney. Whitney's always been a part of the, Women's Wednesday and
Dames of Doom.
Dames of Doom. And so shout out to Whitney.
Hopefully she'll be coming back next Wednesday. I'm gonna
Right.
be
So
That-
this
bugging her.
report's a little disturbing. It's about hurricane season, the worst in U.S. history.
Most of us already know about this, but
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
for those of you who don't.
Hi, Whitney Alex here with a record-breaking story coming out of the Atlantic Basin. Let's dive in. The Atlantic hurricane season has just broken a record for being the most active hurricane season on record, having a total so far 29 named storms this season. Subtropical storm Theta formed in the eastern Atlantic Ocean just before 10 p.m. Monday, November 9th, just under 1,000 miles southwest of the Azores, becoming the 29th named storm of the 2020 Atlantic hurricane season. Ultimately, this means that 2020 breaks the 2005 season as the most named storms in an Atlantic hurricane season, even though the hurricane season doesn't end until the end of November, so there may be even more. So far, 12 named storms have hit the U.S. this season, and many hit the state of Louisiana. For example, parts of southern Louisiana were devastated by Hurricane Laura in late August, which brought 150 miles per hour winds and severe flooding that claimed 42 lives, only then to be hit again by Hurricane Delta and then Hurricane Zeta just last month. Here are all the used names so far this season, and as you can see, there is a lot. Again, 2020 has broken records by being the first Atlantic hurricane season to name 29 storms, beating 2005, which had 28. The consequences of such a record-breaking hurricane season are the following, quote, "The hurricane season of 2020, which officially started in June, has killed dozens of people and caused tens of billions of dollars in damage to homes, power lines, and workplaces during a time of overlapping economic and social crisis." 2020 is definitely a year for the record books, beginning with Australia's devastating wildfires early in the year, which killed over 3 billion animals, to the United States' most active wildfire season on record, California having its first gigafire, and now the 2020 Atlantic hurricane season has the most named storms on record. All of these extremes are linked to a warming global average temperature, with 2020 most likely going to be the hottest year on record in human history. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe to The Green Report for more monthly recap videos on the environment and the climate crisis.
Ouch.
Yeah, is it? Oh, nothing to see here, folks. Climate change is not a thing at all. I mean, has nothing to do with it.
Yeah, we've got to start, I don't know what we can do. And this is happening, and we've got Senator Dianne Feinstein. The Senate passed two resolutions that Senator Kamala Harris and I introduced, congratulating the Lakers and the Dodgers on bringing championships back to Los Angeles. Under unprecedented circumstances, these teams went all the way. Congratulations. Well, we've got an unprecedented climate crisis going on, Senator, and Vice President to be. So I really, this kind of stuff just makes my blood boil. I don't know. What do you guys think? Am I crazy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm crazy.
Totally
Yeah, you're
crazy.
crazy, totally.
What do you think, Kevin?
Well, it's
People
important
want to
stuff.
hear you.
It's important stuff indeed. That they're passing these resolutions to congratulate the Lakers and the Dodgers because, they still haven't figured out a way to agree on a stimulus bill.
Yeah.
Right.
It looked like there was a possibility before the election that they might agree on something, or Trump was urging them to agree to something, or he was saying like, okay, listen, I'll do, you guys propose something, I'll agree to it, but they were like, no, we don't, we don't want Trump's signatures on any
Yep.
stimulus checks, so we're gonna have to nix that. Sorry, guy.
Yeah, they're both at
Sorry,
both
people.
sides. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. So
The only thing that Pelosi has right, one little thing, is the OSHA protections that the Republicans are trying to take out, so companies aren't responsible if they have unsafe working conditions with the virus. That's absolutely ridiculous, and actually, I
Sure.
want her to stand her ground on that one.
Sure.
But they could have done a standalone bill without that, and just gave stimulus checks. So
absolutely, there's
That would've
no way they there's no reason they couldn't have done something very quickly to help people, right? And
Yeah. and now we're
Yeah.
probably not going to see any help until next year.
Yeah, I mean, I have to say it's a little strange that the only thing that's after the HEROES Act or not the Heroes Act, but the CARES Act, the unemployment insurance that went out, expired in August, I believe. The $600, the extra $600. So people have been waiting. They passed the Heroes Act, and there was, in the House, but there's been no movement on agreement to a stimulus. And so the only thing that's happened was Trump signed that executive order giving people $300 a week, extra for unemployment. It's it's something, which is good,
Yeah,
and it's
that helps some
unfortunate
people.
that they can't agree to something more substantial. But
Especially when they get
without
worse.
even that, imagine where people would be.
Yeah, yeah. There's only so many bridges that people can live under. So
Well, and
okay.
1,200 only helps so much. I saw a report that
Right.
small businesses are getting a rebate of $60 for their combined excise taxes that they paid in the first quarter. How much does $60 really help a small business that's failing?
Oh boy.
No,
Yeah.
and most of the PPP money went to larger businesses.
Yeah,
anyway.
big businesses like these arenas, the sports. Yeah. The Lakers
Nancy
got a shit
Pelosi's
ton of money, right.
husband's business.
Right.
There was that.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah, I don't think it should be PPP. It should just go straight to the people because that's who you're intending to help. So
Yeah.
if people have money, then they'll buy from businesses.
Absolutely. And Shanda brought a report.
Yeah, that leads us right into
Yeah.
a report I brought about truck drivers potentially striking over Black Friday with compound shortages because they're predicting more food shortages across the nation in the
Oh,
next
it's already happening. It's already starting to
Right.
happen.
We're seeing it here too. So I found this really interesting.
And Aspen researchers.
Oz, can you
up
turn
to
it up?
40 million people risk missing rent. The researchers
that better?
indicated that we're about to witness the most dramatic housing market crash ever recorded, as they stated in a recent note that the United States may be facing the most severe housing crisis in its history, according to
Did
the
he get quiet
latest
again?
analysis of
Yeah, he got
US
quiet.
Census
I
data.
did.
As federal, state, and local protections and resources expire, and in the absence of robust and swift intervention, an estimated 30 to 40 million people in America could be at risk of eviction in the next several months.
Well, you couldn't really hear that. Anyways, he's talking about how at the end of the year, the rent moratoriums that are out there are going to go off and how many people are going to be displaced and homeless. And this is going to be compound with probably potential lockdowns. I mean, we're hearing a lot about lockdowns from the Biden transition team.
Yeah, I think Kevin sees that when he goes out, when and if you go out, under every freeway down there, I hear in Los Angeles, there's people living under there. Is that correct?
That is correct. The
Oh.
homeless situation is worse than ever, and it's been bad for several years. It's been getting worse and worse. And this is it's a frequent topic of conversation in Los Angeles among Los Angeles. The homeless situation is, you can't escape it. You can't not look at it unless you don't go out of your house. So I guess, coronavirus lockdowns are good in that way. Maybe you just don't have to see people living under bridges. But that's what's I mean, people are literally being just thrown out of their homes with all their possessions. I remember driving around last year, literally seeing people with as few possessions as they could carry with them, like living on the street, right? They had a tent, they had a couple of things, like a table, like a,
Right.
dining room table or, whatever. Just a few nominal possessions they could bring with them, and then they just moved to the sidewalk, and you just saw that happening like every single day, and it's it's about to get worse, right? Because the CDC
Way
is
worse.
going to lift their moratorium on evictions.
Do you think
Yeah, that's-
do you think the shit's going to really hit the fan after this so-called holiday season we're having, when everybody's actually figuring out that we're screwed?
I don't doubt that there is going to be some kind of mayhem, and I don't know if you all have been listening to some of my live streams. I've been talking about Whitney Webb and
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're
Oh, yeah, we're on-
fans.
Yeah, and she's been talking about the fact that they've been trying to introduce this idea of chaos, election chaos, and
Yep.
turn it into a thing. whatever that thing might be, whether it be like martial law or, mandatory vaccines or both, and getting people ramped up on this idea of election chaos and, possible civil war. Here it comes, so that's been, programmed into people's minds for the last year that this is how it's going to go down. And it's so interesting to me now that Biden is president-elect, and they're just kind of acting like he's the president now, right? And
Yeah, they are.
there's this whole thing going on, like kind of, Trump is not leaving. So that's an actual story it's actually happening. I just heard 5 minutes before the show that Trump won his lawsuit in Pennsylvania regarding the time.
Yeah, I heard that too.
Which they had to stop counting votes. So, his questioning of the election results is still it's still going. It's still going forward. They're going to do a recount in Georgia.
Yeah.
So there's still questions around who actually won, but like there's this whole section of the population that's just like, here we go, it's a Biden administration and we're just going to go forward and this is what's happening and we're going forward with this thing.
Have you noticed they're not even calling him President-elect Joe Biden anymore? They're calling him President Biden.
Oh yeah. And I get it. For a lot of people, they're just so, they're so overjoyed that Trump is gone and Trump is out. They're just, they're ready to move on to the next phase. And who can blame them? But there is an actual story still happening, and that story is that Trump is not leaving, and he's contesting the elections, and that's a thing. I have a feeling that's going to become bigger in people's minds over the next week or two, right? There's gonna be a little bit of a cratering of the idea that like, Trump is gone, we're on to Biden, everything is great, right? There's going to be a little bit of like you're going to see some fault lines starting to happen, and people are like, wait a minute.
And they're trying to divide us, but you know what we can do with the Donald Trump supporters and us who went through the same thing with Bernie Sanders and all that? That's something we have in common, that we can work together to secure our elections. And I don't want to hear again, like they said this morning, that this was the most secure election that has ever happened in U.S. history.
Oh my God.
And not even shitting you. They said that this morning.
I know. You know who said that though? Department of Homeland Security.
Right.
Trust us,
joy.
guys.
Happy joy.
Yeah, Chris, I agree with you. It is incumbent upon us progressives to try to bridge that gap, and we do share this in common. As burners, we have been, abused by the system how many times? If we're not screaming about the lack of election integrity, then nobody else.
Yeah, and what better time to get people to actually focus on it when you have 50% of the population are Trump supporters, and they're going to feel disenfranchised just like we did. And it's either start a civil war over it or bring them aboard and say, hey, let's fix the system. And maybe use this as a chance to educate them on how they do rig the elections. It's just not people voting 3 or 4 times or whatever. That's
I think that's a really key point is, kind of uniting the forces of the populist right and the populist left, right? Because there are, after that Fox News poll that came out that people want Medicare for all, people want, what else are they? They were saying climate change is an issue, right? They believe that climate change should be acted upon, right? So these are conservatives. These are supposed Trump voters, Republicans. Understand that they're anti-war. They want the wars to end, right? So there's this.
Yeah, we have some connecting thoughts there.
There's this broad, swath of people in the country that all agree on the same things, and some of them voted for Bernie, and some of them voted for Trump, and some of them voted for Biden, right? So like, it's not, the divisions are not where they're trying to, they're trying to draw the lines where the lines are not, so I think that there's more unifying ideas out there than there are dividing ones. So yeah. And I think Tulsi being a big proponent of election integrity, right? That was one of the reasons why people backed Tulsi so strongly, is that she actually made that an issue.
Yep.
When not a lot of other people, were very interested in it, even though the last 2 Democratic primaries revealed that there was a lot of election tampering, or there was definitely questionable things going on, right? So
Well, they even admitted it in several instances, and they're like, "Oh well, we're not going to do anything about it."
That's
you know?
politics.
Basically, what it comes down to is these dumps that happen. You know, they always say Biden
Oh, yeah.
takes the best dumps, and we know that that's because of the proprietary software, which is owned by the same people that are in control of, you know, everything. Pelosi, Feinstein, they all are
Right.
invested in these companies.
right. And I was just watching something released by Edward Snowden this morning about he had put up a little clip on Twitter about the people that own the voting machines
Oh yeah.
and the software and how easily, and it was an old video, right? You know, that this has been going on for a long time, right?
Yeah.
12-year-old could hack it. I remember seeing a
Yeah,
story about
I mean, this
that.
has been happening since the early 2000s, right? That people were aware that these voting machines were vulnerable, that they could be hacked, that they were easily hacked, that they were controlled, but, you know, their proprietary software. It's very, you know, it's easy for somebody to go in. I remember in 2016, here's another interesting story, that some intelligence agency hacked into the Georgia
It was the NSA.
NSA database, right?
Yeah.
So, like,
Yeah.
and they were like, yeah, we just totally went in there. And you know, there was a lot of, you know, people were like, well, what happened after you went in? Like, wait, what went on afterwards? But they just revealed that it was just easily hackable, right? So
Yeah.
It was easily
And how
in
they could do the
2005, Jimmy
fractioning.
Carter, right? In 2005, Jimmy Carter led a committee to reform election, and you can go back and watch those videos on YouTube. The things that he proposes we need to do are still the things we need to do.
have not been done.
have not been done. And exit polling. I mean, the simplest thing they could possibly do, and they will not do it.
Yeah,
So,
but pre-polling did so well once again. I mean, it's
oh
like,
yeah, the
Are you
pre-polling. Well, we
kidding
can't
me?
even do the exit polling because the exit polling won't do any good if half your ballots are mail-in or most of them.
Yeah,
So, but something has to happen. There has to be some oversight from, you know, another country or something
Another
coming
country
in.
or citizens, you know, citizens oversight committee or citizens assembly,
And no more-
you know, something like that. You
Sure.
know?
Diebold machines should have been gone a long time ago.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, referring back to the Edward Snowden clip, he was saying that they should, you know, there should be paper ballots, you know, traceable, countable paper ballots, you know, with, and that we shouldn't be counting things off of a machine where,
No, no.
absolutely.
and you know, I know you probably have been watching the work of like Nico House and Convo Couch and
Oh, yeah.
those folks.
We've had them on, last
Right.
week?
Yeah,
Were they
Oh,
on
okay,
with us
right.
last week?
several times.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, you know, there's been, and Tim Canova as well. There's been so many verifiable like instances of just like weird vote totals just going up randomly, you know, all of a sudden for one person,
Yeah, and
I don't know where,
all the
like-
other people didn't
and all
gain
the
one
other people
vote.
didn't, you know, either stayed the same or went down, and it's like, okay, yeah, it's kind of impossible for that to happen.
Well, yeah, we witnessed
So,
that.
you know,
in the-
there's
we witnessed that in the primary elections. I mean, we were watching like the Buttigieg numbers get twisted and frozen and moved and everything else and timestamps, and it's just like, are you kidding me? You know?
And vote counts going down.
Yeah, going down.
Instead of going up.
Yeah,
How the hell
mean,
does that happen?
yeah. It's like
I watched that live when it was happening.
yeah, we all did. We all did. It's like, okay, I'll have another bong. Oops, I hit the wrong dial. You know, come on, guys, really? So anyway, Shanda, you know, to
Yeah.
this point, we've got this behind Shanda. You brought this today. What is this all about? I think the guests will find this interesting.
So this is Ticketmaster. Ticketmaster is looking to launch a vaccine verification system for you to be able to attend a concert. So I've been sitting on Rage Against the Machine tickets for 9 months now, and I'm hoping maybe next year they'll actually reschedule that concert. But if I got to take a vaccine to get in, I ain't doing it.
Yeah, here it comes, right? Like, so whether or not they make the vaccine mandatory, if you can't go to school, get a job, go to a concert, get on a plane
Buy, sell, or trade.
without a vaccine, then what do you know? Then you're kind of stuck. I'm really hoping that like millions of people just say nope. Like, I'm hoping that happens. That there's just
I'm saying nope.
I don't know what's going to happen if that does happen. What's the reaction? What's the response? from
Yeah,
the
that
powers
might be
that
the tipping point. That might be where we actually rise up, because I don't know one person who says they want to take this vaccine. Most people don't trust vaccines that have been in trials for 10 years, let alone one that has not been in trials at all. It's got,
Right.
non-human DNA in it. There's so many issues with this vaccine.
And you're gonna
There
have
was-
to take two, and they're gonna have to track you for 2 years, right? Like,
Yeah, no, I'm not going to be their guinea pig. Sorry.
Well,
Not
I don't
happening.
understand you guys. I mean, the pharmaceutical industry they're only working in the best interests of human beings.
they're not in it for profit. They're
Not
just
at all.
best
Jesus.
people.
They want to save your life.
What a silly thought.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
just
yeah. And then you got the military-industrial complex mixed in there, and then it's everybody's kumbaya. Let's just make everybody slaves to the planet here, or to them. So, screw the planet and kill the people. That's where we're at. So,
Speaking of Whitney Webb, I thought it very interesting the other day on Twitter that there was a trending story about Pfizer insisting that they were not part of Operation Warp Speed.
Yeah, I saw
I was
that.
like, what is this? I was like, did they? So they had to, like, because enough people, I guess, started to become aware of Operation Warp Speed from various sources. Of course, Whitney has been talking about it, but like, yeah, enough people became aware about it that they were like, oh, we got to put out this story denying, our culpability in this, or our involvement in this. So, Pfizer denies any involvement in Operation Warp Speed. I was like, what the hell?
Why? Yeah.
Like nobody, prior to 3 weeks ago, nobody knew what Operation Warp Speed was, right? Like, the average person wasn't even aware that there was an Operation Warp Speed going on, right? And now it's become a rather large news story, right?
yeah, absolutely. It's like Jiffy Pop popcorn. It's just like the thing's just blowing up. So there you go.
the Salt Lakers says make the politician take it first.
Yeah.
Agree. Let's make them all do it.
Absolutely. Yeah, and have it sublingual right in their ass. Okay, what do we got here? What's this? What's this?
So this is Lee Camp. So I don't know, many haven't heard, but the Mueller report was declassified last week, which pretty much gives validity to the fact that there was no Russian interference in 2016, but the media is kind of silent about it.
All right, Comrade Shanda, let's play this.
The truth is, the Russian threat was never real to begin with. Most of you now know it was horseshit from the beginning. Most of you, even if you're sitting there right now with your Biden T-shirt on and your Kamala Harris hat or whatever the fuck, even you knew that this world of liberal McCarthyism was always a joke. The Mueller report, despite doing their best to act like something went down, was unable to present any proof, really. All the indictments of Trump associates are for things other than working with Russia to rig the election. All their indictments are for being lying sacks of shit, which is different than being a Russian lying sack of shit. And then, on top of all that, on the Friday before the election, I don't know how many of you noticed this happen. On the Friday before the election, the government quietly responded to a FOIA request. The courts ruled they had to respond to that made them unredact more of the Mueller report, which showed that Julian Assange and WikiLeaks did not work with Russia to release the DNC emails. I wonder why that was redacted. That sounds kind of important. That sounds kind of important since you're torturing Julian Assange, and you have been for fucking years. Maybe this deserves some mainstream media coverage. No? Maybe Wolf Blitzer can pull up the big screen with the red and blue states that everyone loves so much. He can pull up that screen and he can write on it. Guess what? All the shit we've been saying about Julian Assange working with Russia has been utter dog diarrhea.
Time to, free Assange.
Free Assange is basically what it comes down to. I try to bring topics about whistleblowers every show. We need to be talking and protecting and fighting back.
Yeah, we need to do it.
And to add on, there's another add-on to that story is that Trump is trying to declassify, all the Russian investigation.
Cool.
information, right?
Good
All the
for
stuff
Trump.
that was going on around that,
Yeah.
which is kind of been a cry from the right from the Trump supporters for the entire last 4 years. They were like, declassify, right? The FISA warrants and declassify all that information that's going on.
Too bad they're
here,
too
here it is,
sidetracked with masks.
After the election, or a week, I don't know, when was the election? A week ago? Seems
Right.
like a long
Seems
time
like a
ago.
year
But
ago,
yeah, here we are after the post-election, and he's still threatening to declassify it, which a lot of people think that he should declassify.
Yeah, hell yeah. Everything.
In a last-ditch attempt to exonerate himself, or clear his name, or say, hey, look, this was an intelligence operation the whole time, right? I don't know.
Well, after all this, you guys, I couldn't believe it. I saw that this morning. Russia and North Korea hackers are targeting COVID-19 vaccine researchers. So here we go again. Is that how you guys interpret this?
Mm-hmm.
Same old, same old.
Russia.
Russia. They are never, and friends of ours are never going to admit that it was all bullshit, no matter how much evidence they get. So, again, I don't know. What do you got here, Shanda?
Oh, so this is a cabinet pick for Biden's cabinet, and basically talking about how they knew 10 years ago that they were separating children at the border from their parents, and it's just going to continue on. It's sickening is what it is.
Joe Biden has named President Obama's former top immigration advisor, Cecilia Munoz, to his transition team. During her time in the White House, Munoz often justified Obama's harsh immigration enforcement policies, including the administration's deportation of thousands of Central American children and its decision to kill an executive order that would have halted deportations. In 2011, Munoz was interviewed by PBS's Mariana Josa.
At the end of the day, when you have an immigration law that's broken, and you have a community of 10 million, 11 million people living and working in the United States illegally, some of these things are going to happen, even if the law is executed with perfection. There will be parents separated from their children. We don't have to like it, but it is a result of having a broken system of laws. And the answer to that problem is reforming the law.
Could you imagine if the Trump administration said something like that?
These things are just going to happen.
We can't do
It is what
nothing
it
about
is.
it. Who are we?
Right.
Jeez.
No, it's insanity. I just, they're talking about, and everybody loves the deporter in chief, who is Barack Obama, and the Biden administration coming up. So you're going to see more of the same. Now, Kevin, I clipped this just for you. I want to get, after you watch this, give us your input on how you feel, how this clip makes you feel. And, of course, Christine and Shanda after. But I clipped this.
It's going to make me angry.
No, it's not going to make you angry. It's going to make you crazy, I think. I don't know. Let's take a look.
So if I could ask you, sir, even if you could address our camera directly, talk to the voters that are worried about socialism and you raising taxes.
First of all, I guarantee, I promise, I've never broken my word. Anyone making less than $400,000 will not see one single penny in their tax raise. Number two, I beat the socialists. That's how I got elected. That's how I got the nomination. Do I look like a socialist? Look at my career.
Well.
No, you definitely don't look like a socialist to me. Sorry. Go ahead, Kevin.
Yeah, no, that's just this whole Red Scare, socialist scare thing that, the entire media is, it's not just the right wing. It's not the, Fox News, CNN is doing it too, right?
Yeah.
They're totally playing into this right-wing U.S. imperialist kind of viewpoint that socialism is bad and commies are coming over to take your brains, right? So it's that's they just keep perpetuating that stuff on a lot of levels. They're no different from Fox News, right? Oh my God, these socialists are going to come destroy your world and your children.
Like all of you.
Fox News and
I beat the socialist.
Yeah,
right.
They're all doing it. All the news stations now are doing the anti-socialism, the socialism scare on people. And when they're together on something, we're in deep shit.
And golly, you might actually think that the real enemy is doing things for people, not Trump, right? Who's the real enemy?
That's the question. Who's the real
situation?
enemy? Yeah, absolutely. You guys made the point a few minutes ago. This is all designed to divide all of us on whatever side of the fence you're on, and they're in they're in a relationship. I think, did you talk about it yesterday that Wall Street, I think it may have been another show, but about how they have a relationship on Wall Street to make things happen that favor their agenda. And they are keeping us divided to favor what the people, the population needs, the planet. So to what ends, Kevin? We're going to have a crispy piece of charcoal floating around the sun here in a few years. Why? I don't get it.
Yeah, I mean, like nothing nothing will fundamentally change, and nothing substantial will happen on climate change. Other than
it getting worse.
They're churning out how Biden really wants to help save the planet, and
in 50 years
or 100 years, and so all of this under the guise of just continuing to keep capitalism going and keep everything going, right? We want to keep everything going. We don't want anything. We want more jobs, and we want more money, and we want more growth and whatever, green growth. And so, it's just the big greenwashing is about to begin, right?
Yes.
Right. That's it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. From Joe fracking Biden.
And all the pipelines that they're going to roll out now, that was part of what was going on in Syria. And now they're talking about the Keystone again. Yeah.
And then
and all of this is designed to make everybody go, feel real, if Biden is inaugurated, gets inaugurated and he becomes president, everybody's just going to be like, great, this is wonderful. They're just doing so much for the climate. We're just going to,
Oh, yeah. It's going to be a couple of weeks of reversing all the Trump orders and not doing anything about the actual problems, right?
Right.
Right. We're just going to go back to brunch because everybody,
Jesus.
he's doing his thing. We're on to a green economy and everything's great now. So I'm going to go out and price Teslas today,
Well, again, when the body has a disease, cancer, whatever, and you just double down on that to kill yourself, isn't it natural for us to want to heal ourselves from a body standpoint? Instead, they're doing the absolute. They're going to die too unless we don't know something about they found a planet and they've been repopulating it. I don't get it.
Elon's going to take over Mars.
Yeah, I know. He's going to go to Mars, and he's going to have the old Wild West worth of laws. So this is just the antithesis to logic to me, is what they're doing, Kevin. I don't understand. I don't get it. You're going to die. Your kids, your grandkids, they're not going to have a life. What the hell is it? Right. Is it suicide? What?
I mean, on some level, I think that everyone knows what's really going on. The conspiracy is not that climate change is a hoax. The conspiracy is that climate change is much, much worse than they're letting on, right? So
right.
On some level, it is a suicide, run, right? It's just like, well, we're gonna, we got to just keep this going for as long as we can, because we know that there's not a lot of time left, and we really can't let people know that. We can't let people know how close to the edge of the cliff we are. And so they want, they just really want to placate everybody with the idea that we're gonna make these changes, we're gonna do these things, but 2040, 2050, everything's gonna be much better.
Okay.
We're gonna be making
I wish I
progress
had
on
the
climate,
time,
and everybody's gonna have a new green job and like a Tesla and like
Tesla factory.
I really don't know where the end and what the end goal is of this, other than to just keep it going for as long as possible. But
yeah,
it's unfortunate because if the only way, if they could actually tell people the truth about what's going on, then people could start to understand the truth of like what would we actually need to do,
right?
And maybe they might decide not to have children because they are going to suffer, and that's not even a question at this point.
My family's done it.
They might decide that. They might decide to live with a much lower footprint.
Right,
they might decide
minimalism is catching on, and
it's
big time.
So
well,
geoengineering is going to save us all. Don't you guys know?
Oh yeah,
right. But I mean, they're probably, it's hard to have a deep, real conversation around what we would actually need to do because there's so much misinformation around, what's actually going on, right? So it's just.
Yeah.
It's hard to even get close to the solution when you can't get close to the problem. So I don't know. The only thing that I'm happy about is I will say that I am somewhat glad that climate is becoming such a large topic of discussion, even in mainstream news, because at least if we could just move beyond the whole like it's a hoax thing, right?
That would be nice. Yeah.
Right.
That would be nice. We're gonna have to move much faster, right? I don't know if we're gonna move fast enough, but
Only as fast as the climate refugees push them. It's like,
right.
that's going to
But,
be a
I mean-
really real problem to many, many people really soon.
Yeah, at least get in the vicinity, the realm, the area code of, the actual problem. I guess is better. You know, but we're gonna have to, the conversations have to get a lot tougher, and a lot more real quick. you know.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately.
That would be nice.
Yeah. Well, the more we talk about it, the more the conversation grows. It's just like a grain of sand falling through an hourglass. It's building up more and more and more again. Before we head out, we want to do a couple of things, Kevin. We want to talk to you about your channel, and you can promote that and Rockfin. But we always have a Fiorella now. Fee says, and this is Shanda's. So what do we got?
Can you read it? It's too small. I can't see it.
Okay, Fee says, who is Ron Klain, Biden's chief of staff pick? A thread. Klain is infamous for lobbying against asbestos lawsuits, payouts, had a huge role in lobbying team representing Fannie Mae during the abusive accounting and regulation practices. Biden's pick for chief of staff lobbied against asbestos and asbestos. This guy is just another tool, no better, no worse than anything Trump put on his cabinet or Obama. Sorry. And they're all, it's all nepotism in one way or another. So I don't know. What do you guys feel about that? I think Phil nails it again as usual.
I knew this was going to happen. That's all I have to say.
Yeah. You're not surprised, are you, Kevin?
Not at all. I mean, they've been, the last few days have been, there's been a lot of talk about who he's naming to his cabinet and the people he's going to have in his administration. And it's, not one progressive.
A lot of Republicans,
A lot of
Mitt
Republicans.
Romney.
A lot of retreads from Obama, Bush era.
Rahm Emanuel's brother.
Clinton.
Right.
God.
Rahm Emanuel is just like the devil incarnate.
Yeah.
And his little brother is heading up the transition.
That guy
team.
and anybody connected with that guy is bad.
Agreed.
Where's Podesta
Yeah, I really-
and
I
Brock? I want to
He's
see. Go ahead, Kevin.
Oh, they're behind the scenes.
Right. But I like Rahm Emanuel and John Podesta are like the evil gnomes of the Democratic Party. Like they make my blood boil, and
I don't know. I've never seen you boil, Kevin. You're so reserved and calm and thoughtful.
I try to keep it really mellow. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you believe that, definitely don't watch his show from yesterday.
I got one of the shows yesterday. Did you have two or one yesterday?
Dick Cheney as an advisor says veg.
I saw that veg.
Dick Cheney.
It's really nice to see veg in the chat.
Yeah.
We love you.
Why not Kissinger? I think Kissinger.
Oh my God.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Kissinger was like, thumbs up, Biden.
Yeah,
Love him.
he was real happy.
He's great.
He's great.
I can't do a Kissinger voice.
The Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse.
Yeah, absolutely.
Biden was really good. I don't know.
He's perfect.
I'll work on that one.
Perfect for the job. Kevin, talk about your channel and and where to find you and Rockfin and all that stuff before we head out.
Yeah, I'm about to actually start I do a live stream at 11 a.m. Pacific time every morning about climate change, and I'm trying to do another video about politics daily as well, although I don't really have a set time for that. That's just kind of whenever I feel like it. But you can catch me and talk about climate change at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on YouTube and on Rockfin. And yeah, I'm there pretty much daily.
Yes. Yes.
And it's also the name is Black Bear News, by the way.
Right,
So-
Black Bear News. Way
In
cool.
case you didn't know.
Yeah.
The name of the channel is Black Bear News.
It's been an absolute pleasure having you on. We so
Yes, it always
appreciate
is.
it, Kevin.
Always.
So much. And
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and we're not going to hold you here. We got a couple of housekeeping things to go through, so I know you need to get ready for your 11 a.m. Everybody jump over there and check Kevin out or sign up for Black Bear News on Rockfin. Is that correct, Kevin?
That's correct.
Okay, and
Kevin is a must watch, must subscribe.
absolutely,
Yes.
absolutely. When Kevin wins, we all win. When all of our sisters and social media sisters and brothers win, we all win. And I want to keep promoting that. So thank you so much again, Kevin, and we hope to talk to you soon
Thank
again.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Thanks,
Thanks to all the
Guys.
wonderful chatters too.
Yeah.
Yes, you
You're
guys have
so
been
sweet.
amazing. We've got people in the chat all over right now. We've got them at Rockfin. We've got them at Twitch. We've got both YouTube streams up. You guys are just being amazing. And yeah, over at Rockfin, you will find Roar Media right next door to Black Bear News. So be sure to follow both.
Yeah, for sure. Now, Chris, you want to touch base on what we're doing again here, and that you're not going away. You're actually going
No,
to be
I'm not
seeing
going
more.
away. The channel name is going to change. It's going to be Roar Media, and I will have a show on Roar Media. Roar Media is we are working currently on a 501c3 status, and when we put up the monetization again, it will all go to that, which will go to help independent media personalities get the equipment and gear they need. So we'll have people all over the country doing all kinds of reporting, which I think is great, and lots of great shows. If you want to put up the other shows that will be on this channel now.
Oh, there's even more that I haven't even added
Yeah,
yet
there's
to
more
this.
coming. Everybody's coming out of the woodwork because we are agreeing and working together instead of fighting about shit.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
wonderful.
By the
So-
way, the dive that you just watched is one of those.
Yeah,
So-
the
Dive. And then tomorrow night we will have Beauty and the Boomer. You guys will get a taste of Oz and Mai's like kind of cut loose show, which is more funny than politics, but we do cover politics.
Yeah, we're trying, everybody. We just
There's a lot of humor in politics.
Yeah,
Right. We just point out the hypocrisy and laugh at it. We have a few drinks. I smoke a bowl. It's our Saturday night kind of cut loose, and we have a blast with it.
Yeah, and we hope we see Pat, the Batman fan, bringing us movie reviews and must-sees. That'd be Bat. So, again, thank you, everybody. We don't have an outgo song today, do we?
Yeah, there's one on the deck. It's called Steve King, Satan Woman or something. It's funny. I don't
Satan Woman. What slide is that? Is that 48 or no? That's...
I don't know. It's an old black and white. I don't even know if we'll take a copyright strike for it. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Satan is name. Anyway, yeah, Beauty and the Boomer, and I don't know if there's going to be a no joke over on UHM tomorrow or not. If there is, we certainly support.
Wednesday night will be the Natural Progressive night.
Yeah, next Wednesday.
6 p.m. Mountain.
Yeah.
So that would be
Yeah.
well,
We're looking forward to it. But please,
no,
please,
the 5 p.m. your time.
Yeah.
8 p.m. Eastern. So
And then we have the Accidental Activists and Brave New Future that switch off every Friday. So those are both amazing shows.
thanks, Torstein.
Yep,
Torstein's saying
absolutely.
sweet things in the chat. So
Absolutely.
they
And,
all
yeah.
are.
So anyway, thank you everybody. Thank you, Christine and Shanda. As usual, I could not do anything at all without you and the other people working for this mutual goal on
We
everything.
need each
So-
other. We all need
We
each
do.
other.
We need to hold each other and support each other. And like I said, friends before bullshit. And this is just where I'm at. So we're going to do the best we can, and we love our chats. And I guess we are. What are we, Shanta? We're the Walmart of social media today. And I'm happy.
We're the Walmart of
Where
social
have I
media.
heard that?
Yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy to fill that role because I'm right there with my people.
Hey,
and-
those are my peep.
Yeah.
I go to Walmart daily. That's how I have to shop at Walmart because they killed all the mom and
They
pops.
killed
So
all the mom and
I
pops.
embrace my people. I'm a trailer park girl, and I got a lot to say.
Yeah, we love all of our chatters, and we respect you, and we hold you in high esteem. You matter.
I
You
have
all
no
matter.
idea, Torstein.
You all matter. So anyway, we're going out with Satan is her name, Stephen King, and thank you so much. Bye, everybody. See you tomorrow night.
Love you guys.
Bye.
Satan is the name she goes by. There's a lot of devil in her eye. Kiss a fire that burns you well. She breaks your heart and it hurts like words can't tell.
Oh, lover.
Lady in black, they call her. Your eyes can't believe that's all her. Got to fall though you know your fate. The eyes of love soon change to the eyes of hate.
Oh, lover.
All beginners. With her there are no winners. She pulls your heartstrings until they snap. Breaks your heart, but you know you crawl right back.
Oh, lover.